So now we're going to take a look at area. But before we look at area, let me quickly remind you again, another radical review. This time we're looking at how to multiply radicals. All right, so before we begin, let's go ahead and ask a couple of questions. So what is 3x times 5x? So again, this is not addition now, we are multiplying. So what you do when you're multiplying is you're multiplying the coefficients, that's the numbers associated that you're multiplying. So 3 times 5 is going to give me 15. And then you're going to multiply the variables, which is x times x. All right, so this is going to simplify to 15. And what is x times x? How can I write that even simpler? You write as an exponent, x squared, x to the power of 2. All right, now we're going to multiply the second one. So now when the variables are the same, that's how you've done it. Now we're doing it if the variable's different. So again, we start off with the coefficients. 3 times 5 is what? 15. Now we start with the variables. Y times x. Now, can I rewrite that any simpler? No. So we're just going to leave it like that. I can't combine. There's not two x's for me to write x squared or two y's. So we're just going to leave it just like that. So this is what I need you to notice. When it comes to multiplying radicals, you can multiply any radicals. You're going to multiply the coefficients, the numbers outside the radicals, multiply the outside of the radicals. Then you're going to multiply the inside of the radicals. What is outside, keep outside. What is inside, keep inside. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example. So again, I'm going to copy the example into the calculator. The calculator is how I'm just checking every single step as I am writing it down. So this is times and then 9 radical 6. Okay. So according to my notes, I multiply the outside. So we're going to do 4 times 9. Okay. So multiplying the outside, 4 times 9. Now we have the inside the radical. Inside the radical, we're going to do 21 times 6. So 21 times 6. So again, when you're multiplying radicals, doesn't matter what the radicand is. They don't have to be the same. Just go ahead and multiply the outside together, 4 times 9, and the inside together. Now, before we multiply these, we are going to simplify. Now, we're going to double check to make sure that by doing this, we are not changing our answer. Because remember, we can make sure that along the way, we are completely right. So I'm just going to copy down what I have. Is it still the same? It is. All right, so let's go ahead and combine the outside of this. So when we combine the outside of that, what are we going to get? 36. All right, we're not going to write that down just now. I just know that on the outside I have 36. All right, on the inside, I'm going to break this down because I need to simplify it. So now I have two numbers I can simplify. Now I could combine them, but it'll be just more numbers. It'll be a bigger number. So I can just combine, do it individually. So 21, I want to simplify 21. So 21, I'm going to check 2. So when I divide it by 2, does it work? It does not. All right, so 2 does not work. So I'm going to move on to 3. Does that work? Yes. So I can break down 21 to 3 and 7. So if I break down 21, I'm going to get 3, which is prime, and 7, which is also prime. So I can't break that down anymore. So right here, I can go ahead and replace 21 with 3 times 7. And again, I'm checking every step of the way to make sure wherever I make the mistake, I can stop right there and fix it. So far so good because it matches. Now I'm going to break down 6. So I'm going to start off with 6 and I'm going to check 2. It does work. So 6 breaks down to 2 times, which is prime, and 3, which is also prime. So I'm going to replace the 6 with 2 times 3. Am I still okay? I am. Okay, so now I'm just going to rewrite all this. Remember we said the outside was 36. So I'm going to have 36 on the outside. Leave a space. Write all the cards I hold in my hand in order. So I have 2, 3, 3, and 7. Writing it in order gives you the opportunity to see it. So I'm just going to rewrite this in order. 2, 3, 3, and 7. And again, you see, anytime you make a mistake, right, what's it going to do? Automatically change. So I just made a mistake of not putting the times there and I'm back to normal. So using the calculator is going to make sure that you're okay. So this number right here, we already know is 36. So I'm going to put that 36 right there. All right. Do you see any books? I do. I see a book of what? 3. So 2 cards make what? 1 book. So 2 cards make 1 book. Am I okay? I am. Okay, so I'm still good. So 2 cards make 1 book. Do you see any more cards on the inside? No. So what's left is just combining everything. So if I combine the outside, 36 times 3 is 108. And if I combine the inside, 2 times 7 is 14. So again, you can use the calculator, but if you know your multiplication factors, it moves it a little bit faster. All right, so I'm still okay because everything matching. So we're going to sure. So I said out here should be 108 and inside should be 14. All right, I'm matching, so I'm good. So I'm pretty confident in my answer. So go ahead and pause the video and complete this example before we start. All right, now we're going to take a look at area. All right, so let's talk about areas and what this is useful for. So we've got area of a triangle, which is a half base times height. We want to use that a lot. Area of a rectangle, a parallelogram, a square, is all the same way. It's base times height. Now, what I really want to make sure is that you understand what the base is and what the height is. When you go to the doctor's office, and I'm going to draw a person real quick here, and please draw it on your notes. When you go to the doctor's office and they measure your height, they usually have you stand on like a little scale and they put something on top of your head, right? So this is you, and the doctor is measuring your height. You have to stand up completely straight. What you don't do is lean like this, like, oh my gosh, this guy's really just, he's falling. You don't lean over, okay? So we do not do that. You stand straight. So this is you, and you make a 90 with the ground, okay? Like you stand up completely straight. That is what height. So height must make 90 degrees with the base. Very, very important, okay? So 90 degrees with the base, okay? So where do we use this for? You're going to see this a lot in drawings. So in architecture, and even when you're going to rent an apartment, buy a house, you're going to see these kind of drawings, okay? They're called blueprints. And they're going to give you exact dimensions of each room, and you are going to have to understand what that means, how big that is, what you can fit in that room. Like, can you fit a king bed in there? Yeah, sure. Then you have no space at all. So the area perimeter is actually really very important in real life applications, okay? So how do we calculate the area of a home floor plan or a blueprint? That's what we'll talk about today. So I'm going to do example 4, and you're going to do example 1 using this diagram. So example 4, let's practice.